Hi there, everybody. This is Austin, the Best I Can Afford Antiques channel. Yeah, I got a bunch of these prints, bird prints, flower prints. I've gotten them randomly, but also I got I get a bunch of them in an auction, and I paid $11. I paid $11 for these and more. I think hand-colored bird engravings from ornithological books. I've done a lot of research and I found out a lot about these, and they all date from like 1840 to 1880, except these two, which I have not figured anything out about other than what type of birds they are. This one's a Canadian goose. Still a pretty handsome piece, well detailed. I like it quite a bit. Just a little bird print. So yeah, I like that. I'm gonna in my next video I'm gonna take these out of the frame and see what I can see. Now it's not super promising because I saw there are just regular staples in here. Now maybe this has been preserved at some point in time, so I'm not entirely positive. I'm not gonna write them off. But yeah, I couldn't find those anywhere. I don't know what they are. They could be a modern reproduction of something, or even just a modern whatever. So yeah, we'll see what we see once we get them out of the packaging. Like I say, they could be modern prints instead of hand-colored engravings or anything like that. So let's talk about this one first. Big triple bird. Triple bird got the old ca-ca-ca-ca. Anyway, we've got the stone chat. Let me see if I can get it to focus a little better if I pick this up. This is from a book published in, let me see, I had to take some notes here. This is from a book called The Feathered Tribes of the British Isles, published in 1841, and these are hand-colored engravings or etchings from that book, but a republishing in 1853, and I'm going to show you how I know that. So I tracked this down. I found who wrote the book and who published it and stuff. Oh, it's by a guy named Robert Moody in 1841, and he appears to have died right in 1842, which is a pretty sad deal. So I don't know if he was like an older guy and this was his life's work and he just felt like he could finally take a rest, or if he was just a dude in the middle of his life and he got this done and that was the only thing he got to get done. I like thinking about stuff like that, even though I don't particularly like that he ended like that, you know. So yeah, we've got a stone chat. So these are birds, these are British birds, or at least English island birds. Come on, buddy. You can do this. I know you can. Anyways, so that's the stone chat. There's got to be something better here, buddy. So that's the stone chat. Oh, there we go. Okay. And then here is the pied wagtail, who looks like an amazing bird. I love him already. And then the ring ousel. Is that what that is? O-U-Z-E-L? I think so. So yeah, this is a very handsome plate. I like that very much. It's from a book from don't worry, it's just a picture holder. No big deal. But that's from 1841. So here we have a nuthatch, which is what happens when a girl sits on a guy's lap for long enough. I wrote that joke myself. I was sure you wouldn't appreciate it. So this is a nuthatch, and he was pretty hard to find. Let's see, where's my nuthatch at? A History of British Birds, Volume 2, by F.O. Morris from 1880, and look at how handsome that engraving is. I mean, that is a very good-looking bird. So yeah, so far we've got 2 mysteries and 2 figured out ones. And again, that's a history of British birds. So the last one was also British birds. And then let's see, who is next British birds? So I think the green lapwing, or peewit, which I adore the name. I really like these pieces too, and you can see some yellow matting discoloration and stuff. So I mean, these are at least vintage. I can't positively say these are antiques or from the first publishing or anything. I'm going to say that most of these are just vintage, not 1800s and such. So here we've got the green lapwing, or peewit, and he is from, let's see, he's from Birds of Great Britain and Ireland by Sir William Jardine, and that's part of the Naturalists' Library, and then Ornithology as a subset. So in the 1800s, because this is from 1842 if I remember correctly, and that book was from 1842, and that's Birds of Great Britain and Ireland. So the last 3 pieces have been British birds. And so we've got this guy, published in 1842, as part of the Naturalists' Library on Ornithology. And then this piece is from that same series of books, but a different book. And this is plate 3, the yellow white-eye, and he was from A Natural History of the Birds of Western Africa by William Swainson, 1843. This was actually pretty difficult, and I thought for sure if I found one in a book, I'd find the other one. So I almost accidentally attributed these 2 diamond-framed ones to the same book. Because, why wouldn't they be? There's 2 prints in the same kind of frames. But yeah, one's from a book on British birds, and one's from a book on African birds, West African birds. So he's a pretty handsome character, and I really like his background detailing, if it'll give it to me. You're being a real jerk about this, buddy. Okay, there we go. So yeah, I really like all that. And again, that's from 1843. So, I mean, between 1840 and 1880, we're going pretty strong here. I don't know, we got those 2 mystery pieces, so we don't know exactly when those are from. But otherwise, let me get this ring light out of the way here. It's really kind of depressing, isn't it? so here we've got, I think these are probably morning glories, right? And I don't know if they'd all be morning glories or not, but I'm pretty sure that the purple bluish guys are morning glories. Any of my friends can correct me on that. So this is from a book called The Ladies' Flower Garden of Ornamental Annuals, published in 1840. Now this is a lady writer, and before she got into writing books for women gardeners, which didn't really exist before her. Like, there were books on plants and stuff, and they were mostly for, professional horticulturalists and plant researchers, stuff like that. So she wrote a book in 1840 that was geared more towards women, being inclined to the hobby of flower gardening. So, it was something where girls could get their hands dirty, as opposed to, all the dainty stuff that I'm sure was required of them to do back then. So she was kind of like a proto-feminist. Like, she encouraged women to do just things that were slightly out of the box for the time and era. So, but before she wrote that book, she wrote a book called The Mummy, or A Tale of the 22nd Century, in 1827, so 13 years before she made the book that contained this engraving. She wrote a book about the mummy, and it was Cheops, and he came back to life in the future in the 22nd century, and, it wasn't even like a spell or anything, it wasn't sorcery or anything. It was he came back through some sort of like shock or electricity or something like that, I think. And so he came back, and people who befriended him got like advice from him on politics and life and stuff like that. And it wasn't like a horror novel or anything. So, let me think. Hold on. I actually know a bunch of this stuff, and I'd rather just remember it so it sounds like I'm a human being when I say it. So she, in 1827, she wrote that book, The Mummy, and it was also like predictive of the future, like not like Nostradamus. It was like, it was science fiction before science fiction was actually a thing. So, in that book, there were like, just the simplest thing. Women wore trousers, and they had hair ornaments that were like contained fire. Let me think. So almost like an electric light could be construed as contained fire. You know what I mean? But and that's just like a hair decoration. She had steam powered digging machines, and she had steam powered automatons that were like doctors and lawyers and stuff. So like robot doctors and lawyers. Let me think. I know there was at least one more thing that I wanted to talk about because it was pretty neat. Oh, darn it. Did I write it down? And a kind of a type of internet. Like not a great prediction of what the internet would have been, but, kind of like an idea of having the internet. And then, so yeah, she wrote all that in 1827, and then, like a year later, a guy found her, because he had read her book, and he was a naturalist and a horticulturalist, and he was interested in her steam-powered digging machine. So he went to find this person who had published a book anonymously. So he was looking for a dude, and when he showed up, it was a woman. And he was like, oh, okay. So a year later, they were married. So apparently he was pretty impressed with her. And then later on in life, she, wrote this book, and I've got this beautiful plate from it. So let me know, who you liked, and I hope you liked learning about this stuff. I really did. I thought Mrs. Jane Loudon here, Jane, and then Loudon. Again, this book was published in 1840, and I'm not saying that's when these prints were from. I'm just saying that that's when these works were published. So they could have been printed or engraved or etched or whatever anytime after that. We'll have to continue researching and figure out exactly when they're from. I'm sure they're all at least vintage. They all have like acid matte discoloration and stuff. So I'm sure we're at least in there. I just don't know if vintage or antique or what. And the frames aren't much help because that's a pretty base frame. But yeah, you see it's just white with a little bit of wear to the paint. I don't know if it's just been handled a bunch or what. But yeah, I paid $5 for that one. I paid $11 for all the bird prints at an auction. So, I can't believe nobody bid against me. I mean, there must have been 15 pieces of art in that lot. And, they stopped at $11. I stopped at $11, which I was willing to go higher than that. And, just nobody fought me on it. $11 for all those. Plus, a bunch of ones that I'm not even showing you because they're just more common sort of jibber-jabber. But yeah, this is Austin, Best I Can Afford Antiques channel. I hope you appreciate learning about all this stuff. I hope you appreciate all the work I put into learning what books these were from and stuff. So yeah, feel free to like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm always talking about something different and weird. These are probably, I should have mentioned this earlier, these are probably pretty valuable. I mean, whether they're vintage or not, I've seen some of these for sale for pretty ridiculous prices, and I've got like a fair collection of them. So yeah, next video we'll take the backs off of the two little prints and learn if they're little prints or just garbage or what they are, and we'll learn something new together. How about that? How about that, buddy? This is Austin, Best I Can Afford Antiques channel. I really appreciate you guys coming by, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Do the thing. I'm not trying to be famous. That's why I don't show my face, I just want all this stuff to be famous. I want people to know about all this stuff. Because I love it. I just discovered it. And I'd like other people to be able to discover it and love it. So yeah, I just wouldn't deny anybody the feeling that I get when I look at something like this. And and learn about people like Mrs. Jane Loudon, who was a little bit of a rebel, a little bit of a cool lady with weird ideas and just awesome thoughts and the ability to write. And, you know, that's more than most people will ever accomplish in their lives. Even just thinking outside the box, you know, that's a cool lady right there. So yeah, I hope you guys appreciate this. This is Austin, the Best I Can 40 Antiques channel. Tune in again.